The episode Noe is set to premiere at the end of October, and I think we have pretty much material to talk about it. Personally, it looks like to me that it could finally be a Zoé-centered episode, and I think that's long overdue. If we look back at how her character has been developed, a lot of the groundwork was laid in Daddy Cop. In that episode, we saw the beginning of her friendship with Sabrina, and that could become the main focus here. Zoe doesn't know Sabrina very deeply, but she is fully aware of the years of manipulation and mistreatment Sabrina suffered under Chloe's control. When Zoe first met her, she was disgusted by the way her half-sister locked Sabrina in closets or made her carry bags like a servant. Later in Daddy Cop, Zoe noticed Sabrina sitting alone, fiddling with a napkin, clearly struggling with loneliness, and she decided to invite her to a movie night with the girls. That invitation led to a very emotional hug from Sabrina, which was a huge step for her confidence. It's possible that Noe builds on this bond, maybe even suggesting that Sabrina becomes Zoe's closest ally now that she's been distanced from Chloe. Considering Zoe once had feelings for Marinette, it's not unthinkable that the writers might experiment with Zoe, developing a deeper, possibly romantic connection with Sabrina. Whether that happens or not, what matters is that the two of them mirror each other's struggles. Sabrina is trying to stand on her own after years as Chloe's minion, and Zoe is trying to leave behind the shadows of her past. If that's the case for them, I do wonder if we're going to see the reveal of the identities as we saw for Mark and Nathaniel. Since the term "the secret identity" is no longer relevant, I think it's possible.
You may hate me, but I love you, and I always will even if the whole world hates you.
2. Zoe's past. Of course, the episode will cover more than one thing, and Zoe's past might actually be the second thread. Remember Ray, the former schoolmate from her time at a boarding school in New York? He was introduced at the end of Daddy Cop as a cruel reminder of Zoe's old life. He used to bully her, mocking her for being her true self, and even threatened to expose videos of her old behavior. This is very important, because it suggests Zoe wasn't always the sweet, confident person we know today. Maybe she went through a phase where she tried to fit in by being cruel. Much like Chloe, if Noe brings Ray back into the spotlight, we might see him reveal this darker side of Zoe's past to her new friends, forcing her to confront who she used to be. After this reveal, her friends might be disappointed at her, which could leave her isolated and sad. This could tie directly into her bond with Sabrina, because Sabrina also knows what it feels like to regret being someone else's shadow. If Zoe admits that she too once made mistakes, and maybe even bullied others, that could make her and Sabrina's connection even stronger. But if the reveal happens harshly, it could break Zoe for a while, leading her to a genuine mental breakdown. Imagine if her classmates begin to doubt her, believing Ray's words. This would hit Zoe's deepest insecurity, the fear that no matter how hard she tries, people will always see her as a copy of Chloe. In that case, Sabrina could be the one person who stays by her side, reminding her that people can change, and that Zoe has already proven herself as someone different.
Are you through? This is all just part of my plan.
3. The return of Chloe. The third big angle of Noe could be Chloe's return. We know from season 5 that she hit rock bottom. After her disastrous reign in Revolution, she was deakumatized, stripped of her power, ousted as mayor's daughter, and forced to leave Paris with her mother Audrey. That scene of her breaking down after Marinette told her she was utterly ridiculous was a complete collapse of her pride. But in season 6, we've already seen that Chloe is living in London, trying to reinvent herself under her mother's control as a model, influencer, and even leader of the B community on social media. On the surface, she looks like she has rebuilt herself, but we know Chloe. That grudge against Ladybug, against Marinette, is still burning deep inside. That's why I think Noe could be the beginning of her comeback to Paris. She might beg or manipulate her mother into letting her return, or perhaps Cerise herself engineers her comeback, knowing she can use Chloe as a pawn again. If Chloe comes back, it would completely change the flow of the season. Say what you want about her, but Chloe is a character who always stirs conflict. She's impulsive, emotional, and selfish, but that's exactly why she's entertaining and unpredictable. Her presence would complicate Zoe's storyline too, because Zoe has finally started to build a life without Chloe's shadow over her. Imagine Zoe working through her friendship with Sabrina and her past with Ray, and then suddenly Chloe returns to reclaim her dominance. It would be heartbreaking and dramatic, especially if Chloe tries to take away something precious from her half-sister again. And this brings us directly to the fourth part of what might happen in Noe. Chloe in action.
Forgive me? What do I care about her forgiveness?
4. The collaboration of Cerise and Chloe. We've seen how manipulative her alliance with Cerise became in previous seasons. Chloe admired Cerise's cunning, even calling her her new best friend, and Cerise used her exactly like a pawn. Their alliance fell apart in Revolution when Cerise abandoned her to steal Tomo's laptop, but the two of them clearly have unfinished business. Now that Cerise is Chrysalis, the new butterfly holder, she might see Chloe as the perfect partner again. Someone who craves attention, influence, and power, but who can also be manipulated easily. Chloe might want revenge on Paris and Ladybug, and Cerise could offer her exactly that. It's a toxic alliance, but it's realistic. The most dangerous part is that with Chloe's ambition and Cerise's intelligence, they could cause chaos that Gabriel never even dreamed of. The most likely target of Chloe's new schemes is Zoe, and specifically, Zoe's Be Miraculous. We know Chloe has always hated Vesperia without even knowing that she's actually her half-sister. She views Vesperia as an unworthy copy of Queen Bee. This hatred could push her to steal the Miraculous, either to give it to Cerise or to reclaim it for herself. Imagine how painful it would be for Zoe to lose her Miraculous, not to an Akuma, but directly to her own sister. And imagine the satisfaction Chloe would feel, finally holding the Bee Miraculous again and declaring herself Queen Bee, whether or not Cerise decides to support that illusion. If Cerise does get her hands on the Bee, she could create an entirely new kind of threat, maybe even fusing Ultra Kumas with miraculous powers. The fallout of this would be devastating for Zoe. She's already insecure about her place in the group and about her past, and losing the Bee Miraculous to Chloe could completely shatter her confidence. This is where Sabrina might step in again, reminding Zoe of her true worth, that she's more than a miraculous holder, and that she's already proven she has the heart of a hero without powers. It could be one of the most emotional arcs of the season, showing that the bond between Zoe and Sabrina is stronger than Chloe's cruelty. All of these threads together, Zoe's friendship with Sabrina, her dark past with Ray, Chloe's explosive return, the possibility of her stealing the Bee Miraculous, and a dangerous alliance with Cerise, make No Way one of the most exciting episodes to look forward to. Of course, these are just my theories, but I really do think the things that I just mentioned are going to appear in the episode. Overall, the episode has the potential to combine emotional storytelling, dramatic reveals, and high stakes for the heroes. And if everything plays out as we're imagining, this could be the moment where Zoe finally steps into the spotlight as one of the central characters of the season, proving that she's not just Chloe's copy, but a real hero with her own story to tell. My video was up to here. If you enjoyed it and like Miraculous video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and comment what you think. See you in the next one.